So I've been crocheting pretty consistently for the last 15 years or so, but believe it or not, there are actually things that even after 15 years, I have never learned or even attempted to learn. And to be honest with you, some of these, I'm kind of embarrassed, a little embarrassed to make this video because some of these things are just basic things that I feel like every crocheter knows how to do, but I actually don't know how to do them at all. So I'm about to share with you these 5 things that I don't know how to do, and maybe someone else out there can relate and I will feel a little less alone. So number 1 is corner to corner crochet, or C2C. I know the basics of corner to corner, okay? I understand that it's worked in groups of stitches. I understand that it's worked diagonally. I know a lot of people do color work with corner to corner, but it is just something that I've just never attempted to learn. And as somebody that actually enjoys color work, like I do a lot of intricate tapestry crochet patterns, but I've never done something I feel like corner to corner is somewhat basic. Even if you don't get into color work, just like a corner to corner blanket, a solid corner to corner blanket is a kind of a basic thing, and it is, I just don't know how to do it. I know, or at least I think I know, that most corner to corner stitches are done in groups of double crochet stitches, but you can also do like a mini corner to corner that are made out of half double crochet stitches. But maybe somebody out there can correct me on that. I'm pretty sure that's how it's made. But yeah, I've never read a corner to corner graph. It's just something I've never attempted to learn. Number 2 is amigurumi. Listen, there are some amazing amigurumi patterns out there. You know what? I feel like amigurumi designers are the real MVPs of the crochet world, because my brain cannot fathom how in the world these people come up with these shapes and just all the shaping and all of that. But even like some really basic amigurumi patterns, it's just something I've never attempted to learn. I will say, unlike corner to corner, I would definitely learn how to do corner to corner. And honestly, I do want to teach myself how to do it. But amigurumi, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you guys, and no hate at all, but I will probably never learn. To me, amigurumi sounds terrible. Okay. There is nothing about crocheting an amigurumi piece that sounds fun to me, like at all. And maybe some of you can dispel my my assumptions, but when I think of making amigurumi, I just think of crocheting in tiny little circles forever, and then after that, and then you have to make all the different pieces, then you have to stuff them and sew them together, and that to me sounds terrible. So I will probably never make an amigurumi pattern. So my hat's off to you. If you are an amigurumi maker or designer, you are amazing, and I will never be as good as you. So number 3, I feel like this may not be as surprising because I feel like I might find a lot of people that will relate to this, but I have never learned how to do Tunisian crochet. Now I know there are some very basic Tunisian crochet stitches, some very easy things to make, and I really don't have any reason for not learning Tunisian, because honestly, when I look at Tunisian crochet patterns, I think they're gorgeous. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. I think, okay, the one thing that probably turns me off about it is that it seems time consuming to me. The stitches aren't as tall, and I'm a very no fuss crocheter. If you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I like to crochet with usually a bulkier weight yarn. So I like my projects to work up quickly. That's not to say that I haven't designed, more intricate, slower worked designs, but for the most part, I want to sit down and I just want to crochet something from start to finish. And Tunisian crochet seems very tedious, but I will say the end result, I love how uniform it looks. I'm a very, again, when it comes to my designs, I like everything to be uniform. I don't like to dabble with a bunch of different textures in a pattern. I usually like to pick one stitch, and I usually like to pick a stitch that looks very uniform and that's a very just basic stitch. That sounds boring. I'm a boring person. In real life, I'm really boring. I'm an introvert. I live in the woods. I'm a hermit, so I'm a boring person anyways. So That being said, I usually crochet with boring stitches. So that part I like about the Tunisian crochet. I like that it looks very uniform, but yeah, I don't know. It just seems like the projects would take a really long time. So maybe if I teach myself Tunisian crochet, I should start with something small like a dishcloth or something, just to get the hang of it. I mean, I guess you should do that with most crochet projects when you're learning something new, but yeah, I think I'd probably start with a dishcloth just to get the hang of it and just to see if it's something that I would even have the patience for. So number 4 is Mosaic Crochet. To me, this one, to some of you, this may not be surprising, but to me, this one is surprising because I've done so many tapestry crochet patterns before. I love working with colors. I just got done saying how I love boring projects, but ironically, I love crocheting with colors. And for me, the more complicated it gets with the colors, the more I love it. So it surprises me that I have never thought to dabble into the world of mosaic crochet. And furthermore, what I understand, again, I don't know how to mosaic crochet, but I do know that you don't switch back and forth with colors. It's actually a little easier than tapestry crochet, what I do, because you'll crochet one row in one color and you'll drop stitches, you'll leave gaps, whatever, and then you'll go through with the next color and crochet over that and also do drop stitches, and then that's where the design just kind of builds on itself. You do read a graph like you do for tapestry crochet, and I know that there's ends, like it does leave at, like, you're basically crocheting, from what I understand, you're crocheting with, like, you know, one color of yarn all the way across, and then you fasten off and you cut it and you're done, and then you put on another one. So that leaves a lot of ends on each end of your project. They're usually blankets. Mosaic crochet pieces are usually blankets, but I know that people will do like an envelope border, and that kind of just hides all those ends. So that's an easy way to do that. But yeah, as far as like dabbling into mosaic crochet, I've never done it. And the designs that I've seen are just stunning. They are jaw-dropping. It is crazy to me the things that people can create with mosaic crochet, and it is something that I want to get into. It is. My friend Erin from Juniper and Oaks is very big into the mosaic crochet thing, and she does have a course for it, and I want to take that so that I can learn, because there are so many gorgeous designs out there, and that I'd love to create. So yeah, I think I'm going to take up mosaic crochet. And the 5th and final thing that I don't know how to do, and to me, this is the most surprising one. This is the most embarrassing one. Okay, this is the one that I don't want to admit to the entire world, to all of my followers that see me create all these, you know, intricate designs. I don't know how to make a granny square. I have never made a granny square. And you know what? I don't have any reason for not learning how to crochet a granny square. I know what the granny stitch is. I've used the granny stitch, I think. There's one pattern I used the granny stitch, but I never have made an actual granny square. I will say the one thing that has steered me away from it in the past is the fact that you usually crochet squares, plural, and then you have to put them all together at the end. And I'm a one and done kind of girl, okay? We're gonna crochet one thing, we're gonna do it in one shot, and we're gonna call it a day, okay? So sewing a bunch of squares together doesn't sound very exciting to me, but there are so many adorable patterns out there that use granny squares, like bags and hats and sweaters, and honestly, they're all the rage. They're all the rage. They've been all the rage for the last several years that I've seen, and they're just not going away. So I'm surprised I haven't jumped on the granny square wagon yet, but I just haven't. I do know that there are patterns that you can make with like one giant granny square without having to, you know, put all the little squares together. I know there's some sweater patterns out there, blanket patterns that will just, you know, you'll just keep going around and around and around, and you'll just do one granny square. So there's that. I guess a good compromise for me would just be to design a blanket with the granny stitch in it and not feel like I have to make a bunch of squares and put them all together at the end. So there, I've made it public. I do not know how to crochet a granny square. And you can feel free to laugh at me in the comments section. That's fine. I can laugh at myself. I won't be offended. What are some things that you don't know how to do? Are there any basic techniques that you just feel like you've never learned? Like you've just kind of settled into one style of crochet and then you never really explored anything else? I'd love to know if there's anyone else out there like me that had, let's just, you know, this is a safe space, okay? We can let it all out. We can say, I've never learned how to do this, that, or the other thing. This is a no judgment zone. So make sure to leave me a comment below. Let me know the things that you've been too embarrassed to tell the world that you don't know how to do. And maybe that'll give me some ideas for videos to make for you guys in the future. I definitely want to, all of these 5 things that I just mentioned, I actually want to learn. I don't really want to learn how to do amigurumi, but I would turn this into a series. I will teach myself how to do all 5 things and turn this into a series. Is that something you'd like to watch? Let me know. And yes, I will learn, I'll probably choose an easier amigurumi pattern, but I will also learn how to do amigurumi. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you got a good laugh out of this. I hope that this makes you feel a little better as a crocheter to know that not everybody knows all of the things, that things are not as they seem, right? Just because somebody is out there designing patterns does not mean that they know all of the things, because clearly I shared with you today that I certainly do not know all of the things. Well, this has been fun and slightly embarrassing, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.